During class today while you're working, I'm going to show you your score on the plant quiz so that you know whether you want to do a retake tomorrow. And don't forget that if you want to do a retake tomorrow, you need to either print out your dichotomous key yourself and bring it, which you can do, or you need to make sure that I have the latest version of your dichotomous key with your name on it so that when I print it, I know who to give it to. And then just as a reminder, your dichotomous key needs to be your own work that you made from your branching diagram, not, oh, I need a dichotomous key, can I have yours, or will you share your Google Doc with me, or whatever. So make sure it's yours, that you created by yourself. If you don't have one and you want to do a retake, do it tonight. You've got enough time that you could easily create a dichotomous key and have it ready and turn it in tomorrow morning, and I can print it then. And then, so for the quiz, it'll be up to 80% of the possible points will be available, and if you feel like you got ripped off, you can fill out an exception form and request like more of the credit, and then you just need to like document what happened and why it happened and why you think you deserve an exception. You take it home, have somebody at home look at it and sign it, and then bring it back to me, and I'll run it by administration and counselors, and if they're okay with it, then you can have that exception. Let's see, and then that's the only time I'm going to run the plant quiz the way that it was set up before. So if you want to retake it, but you can't make it tomorrow, or if you haven't taken it yet and you can't come in tomorrow during lunch, then you're going to have an alternate assignment that I'm going to ask you to do, and it'll be, you're going to do the work for that, and not me. So what I don't want to do is have to go out and collect plants every couple of weeks, every time somebody comes in and says, oh yeah, I kind of want to take that plant quiz thing. So I'll make you do something, and then I'll score that. It'll effectively be assessing the same kinds of skills, which is your ability to identify and recognize the plants, but you'll do the work. And then, so I mentioned this yesterday, and I'm going to keep mentioning this every day because I am feeling like some people are still struggling with this, I feel a little bit. So first of all, as of yesterday morning, everything that you turned in that I knew I had, I graded everything that I thought I could possibly grade. That does not include the work that you did yesterday and turned in yesterday, measuring vegetation, cover, that you may have turned in. I haven't looked at any of those yet. They're right here. So they're on my list, but I haven't looked at them yet. But everything else, if I could grade it, I did already. So that means if you look at Canvas and you see a blank or a zero or like something that's ungraded, it means that I don't know what to do. And if you feel like, wait, that should be graded, I did that work, I want you to come and talk to me. Be like, hey, what happened with this, assignment? I have a blank for my dichotomous key. I thought I got it done. I thought I turned it in. How come you didn't grade it? And then we can look together and I'll be like, oh, I didn't grade it because you turned in the blank copy of the assignment, not your dichotomous key, which actually did happen a couple of times. Or sometimes people take a picture and it's not of the assignment, it's something else. Or, I don't know what's happening, you're just turning in random pictures from their Chromebook or something, but that's not a picture of the assignment. So stuff like that is happening, and it means that I'm not going to grade the work because you haven't actually turned it in yet. So keep that in mind, and but what I want is people to get credit for the work that they're doing. But in order for that to happen, I've got to have the evidence. So some of that still isn't coming in. And the other piece is completing work, and I just want to make it really clear that number one, if you're using your class time, that is your ticket to getting full points on the formative work that we do in class. So if you want full credit on like the assignments that we do, use your class time and turn in the work when I ask for it. Sometimes I want more than what you did. And if you use your class time and you turn in what you've got and I still want more, then you can do it outside of class and you can turn it in and I will grade it and I will give you full points once you get it done. So you won't you won't always have to do that. Sometimes we'll go outside and we'll work for an hour, and some people will get a lot done and some people will get less done. You'll come in, you'll turn in what you did, and then I'll give everybody the same amount of credit because it didn't need to be finished. Sometimes it's something that really needs to be done. So for example, the stick percent cover. I asked you to look at like 3 or 4 different sticks. I asked you to compare with other students. Some of you didn't get that, but it's okay. If you looked at one stick and calculated the percent cover, I give you full credit for that. You're good. The branching diagram is different. The branching diagram, in order to make the dichotomous key, you had to have the whole branching diagram done. So with the branching diagram, I didn't give you full credit, but if you used your class time and turned it in on time, you could have worked on it outside of class and then turned it in and gotten those extra points. So what I want is for you to focus on working and learning, turning your evidence, and then I know that for some of you, points are really important. You want to get a good grade, or you know that you need to get a certain number of points to just pass. So I want to help you with that part too. And right now, I feel like, quite frankly, I feel like your grades aren't matching up with the effort that I'm seeing. I don't think anybody in here should be getting less than a C. And so if you look at Canvas and you have a D or an F, then what you should understand is, to me, that is not reflective of the work that you're doing. That is only reflective of the hoops. We have to do it though. We have to do some of that stuff. Some of it just because I can't keep track of it all in my head, and some of it because I can't just say, oh, I really like you and you're working really hard, so I'm going to pass you. It's not fair for me to do that. So the good news is there's nobody in here that I'm like actually concerned about. There's nobody in here that I feel like, jeepers, this student is not doing their job, they're not learning. But some of you aren't getting the work turned in, or you're not getting it turned in on time, or you're not finishing it outside of class, and that's the stuff that I want to address down the road. Okay, any questions about that? Okay. We're gonna do 2 things today. We're gonna spend some time just kind of going through the data that you collected for the measuring vegetation cover, and I'm going to tell you how you're going to analyze that. It's going to be relatively easy, a tiny little bit of math, just a tiny little bit of math that you've already done, like the style of this math. It's the same thing that you did for the for the stick percent cover, and then I want to look at it, and we'll do a little bit of comparing, and we'll kind of see like, what did people see out there? Did you all see the same things? And how close were your percentages? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to demonstrate this for you, and then you are going to work in your groups. And I want everybody to do at least 1 transect worth of data. And I think for all of you in your groups, that you have at least enough data for everybody to do 1. So here's what it's going to look like. What we're going to do is calculate the percent cover for both the trees and the shrubs for each of the transects that you and your group looked at. You're just going to do the data from you and your group. So there's a link in Canvas. Don't click it yet, but there's a link in Canvas for class data. And when you click on that, it'll bring up everything that everybody did in both this class and in the 7th period class as well. So I'm going to go through one from 7th period yesterday, just because that way I won't be doing one of yours. So let's see, so here is Nolan and his group got this data, and the way that it's organized is in rows. So this is one transect. This is their data yesterday from transect 4, and you can see the headings here. What was the dominant tree at 0? What was the dominant tree at 5? What was the dominant tree at 10? What was the dominant tree at 15, etc., etc., etc. So so you'll find each of you will tackle one of the transects that your group collected data for, and then what you're going to do is you're going to add up the total number of each tree and shrub that you saw, and so I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to just do a little bit of a split screen here so that I can write and look at the data at the same time. So let's see, we have an Oregon white oak. One of the trees that we saw was so we have Oregon. I need a little help here. Okay. Oregon white oak. And if I go through this list, I see there's 1, 2. That's not working. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I had 4 Oregon white oaks. And then I had a white alder. So that is one of those. That's it. So I only had 1 white alder. And then the other tree that they saw was Oregon ash. Okay, so Oregon ash. And there were 1, 2, just 2 of those. And that actually adds up right, because you looked at 7 spots along the tape. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So there's my trees. And then for my shrubs, the first one was Himalayan blackberry. And I'm just going to write HBB. So we'll see how many of those they got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there were 6 Himalayan blackberries, and then they had other, and that was it. There's 1 other, and that was it. Okay. All right, so there's the first step, is you just add up all the trees you saw and all the shrubs you saw on your transect. And then the next step is, that's not what we're looking at. The next step is calculate the percent cover with this equation. Plant count divided by 7 times 100. So I'm going to just show you what it looks like on the on-screen calculator so you can watch me do it. So I want to find the percent cover of Oregon white oak, so I do 4 divided by 7. And then I need to hit equals because see how it's in parentheses? So I need to get that done first and then multiply by 100. So that's 57, and we can round. I'm just gonna say 57. So that's 57% for my Oregon white oak. And then for the white alder, it's 1 divided by 7, and then equals, and times 100. That's about 14. It's not exactly 14, but close enough. And then I had 2 Oregon ash, so 2 divided by 7 times 100 is about 29%. I'm rounding, so 29%. That's my trees. And then I have separate data for my shrubs. My shrubs, I had 6 Himalayan blackberries, so that's 6 divided by 7 times 100. It was mostly Himalayan blackberries, like 86% Himalayan blackberry, and that makes sense because, I mean, I had 6 out of the 7 were Himalayan blackberry. Most of you saw that as well, right? And then the other category is 1 divided by 7 times 100. I'll round that. It's about 14%. Okay. So this is the data for that transect that group got. And the next thing that I'm going to do is go to this Google form right here where it says enter your data into this Google form. So if you click on that, it'll bring up this, and you'll put in the full name of your group spokesperson. So the data I'm looking at was Nolan. Which transect? I was doing transect number 4. So I'll put transect 4. And then what was the percent cover of Douglas fir? 0. What was the percent cover of Oregon ash? 29. What was the percent cover of white alder? 14. Percent cover of big leaf maple was 0. Oregon white oak was 57. There were no other trees, and there was no places where they didn't see any tree. And then going down the shrubs, there was no Pacific dogwood. The percent cover of Himalayan blackberry was 86. Vine maple was 0. Snowberry was 0. Hawthorn was 0. Poison oak was 0. English ivy was 0. Other is 14%. And then there weren't any places where they didn't see any plants. And then you click submit. So what I want is for you and your group members to go through your data and do that. Add up the number of plants that you saw, add up the number of trees you saw, divide each total by 7, multiply by 100 to get the percentage cover for that tree. Do the same thing for the plants, and then enter it into the Google form so that we can compare the data, right? And we'll just be looking at our data, not the 7th period data as well, because they haven't looked at it yet. But ultimately, I'm going to look at both and see how closely we were aligned. And while you're doing that, I'll walk around and you can show your plant quiz so you can have an idea of what your score was and decide if you want to do a retake tomorrow or down the road. Okay, anybody have any questions? Yeah.
If we have group members that aren't here today, should we do their data?
Yeah, so get as far as you can. I'm going to give you like 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and as far as you get. Yeah, and if you only get 1 or 2 transects, that's fine.